some art comes into it when they say it's organic and charge you twice as much for it.
Thank you, Whole Foods.
Yeah. And that's true of any profession. You're always trying to, change it so that you can get the most out of it. We're all selling ourselves to a certain extent. Art is kind of unique in that what you're making is entirely engaged in it. You're always convincing someone that it's worth buying, right? That's kind of a weird idea, I think, and it's one that I like to explore.
I almost want to say the word parody.
Parody. How so?
That approach to art, that blatant admission of the commercial facet of what being a successful artist is, and acknowledging that as a dimension in your art, and acknowledging that there is this once you've completed an artwork, completely external from that after the fact, having to consider this commercial facet.
Yeah. You think it's false?
No, I don't think it's false. Actually, I commend you on that. I think it's owning up to the reality of...
Because a lot of people talk about the art completely apart from that. And perhaps it's even an idea that people have that art should be separate from consumerism.
Right.
It's idealistic in that sense. But I think it's a reality of it, and I think that that's one of the funnest parts.
So your art isn't idealistic in that sense?
Well, I do try to paint things that I think people will like.
Yes.
In that sense. But
you don't
if
feel
anyone
like
tells you they don't,
you don't feel like
they're probably lying.
You don't feel like you and your art are somehow this separate subject, society, and society. What a stupid broad term. The world of art and art theory and artistic form and all that as something that you're critiquing.
I guess by admitting it, I am in a sense critiquing art as a whole, right?
But from the inside.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Could you elaborate?
Oh, yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Being self-aware is fun.
What would you say to artists that would say things like, I'm not in it for the money, I'm not in it for the success or the recognition?
I would say that's cool. And I would let them go on about their business while I continue to be in it for the money and success.
So you are in it for the money and the success?
Oh, yeah, you have to be. No, I guess you don't have to be. But
you don't want to call them on that, though.
What?
You don't want to call them on that, though.
I wouldn't, no.
Are they deluding themselves?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't want to mess with anyone's delusion, right? That would be kind of rude.
So what's your delusion?
Ooh. I don't know. I guess that's what makes it a delusion. You tell me.
Isis melting. Art is a hallucination made manifest. Go. Yes. I guess this is related to a video response that I posted earlier. Do you feel that by externalizing, let's call them hallucinations, your artwork, by making an object out there in reality, that you are, in a sense, constructing a mirrors.
For my own soul?
For your own soul!
Yeah, I guess that's, kind of the point, too. Because, the only reason people create things, be it a building or, a lasting social organization or children...
Science!
No, it's all...
Science!
Well, that's an extension of it. But it's all about, leaving something behind for the world.
Your posterity?
Yeah, it's all about being immortal to a certain extent. That's why people name buildings after other people, or, name bridges.
So tell us how your art is or air. Are you gonna compare your art to airports?
Art is doing that kind of directly because you're
LaGuardia.
actually
Okay, so tell us about how your art is It's all over the walls here. There's some behind me. There's some. It's good, isn't it? Tell us about how your art is your attempt to come to terms with yourself.
To come to terms with myself. Oh, wow.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of what I said.
Well, I mean, a lot of what I do is it's actually a direct thing. I have a journal kind of thing. And what I do is I write in that journal, and I write, personal things as people would do, or like examining the events of the day, reporting what's going on thoughts. And sometimes what comes out of that is, I guess an extension of myself. But then I also draw on it. Yeah, I guess always, right? Sometimes it's just random. But I guess I also draw on it. And I do pictures, and sometimes they get all twisted together, because a lot of what I do is like abstract lettering. And then I, scan those little journal pages that have big pictures on them, and then make those big paintings as the point. So to that extent, I mean, there's the direct, my hallucination of self and so on is being directly conveyed in the form of the art.
I've called you narcissistic before.
I mean, really?
Yes, to your face.
Oh, wow. Is that narcissistic?
I guess if we follow that logic, what isn't even...
Yeah. I mean,
and
like everything.
I'm going to put this on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
On my channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, is that all? Is that it? Like
everything anyone makes is narcissistic to a certain extent.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
I guess I'm just being a little more direct about it.
No, that's fine. I mean,
I'm also aware of it.
I'm not a painter, but I acknowledge the fact that whatever traces of my existence I choose to leave behind are purely motivated by my own narcissism and drive to preserve my petty little 2008 ego.
I'm reminded of a Brad Pitt quote.
Please, quote Brad Pitt.
What was it? Self-improvement.
Uh-oh.
That's masturbation. Not self-destruction. So maybe instead of trying to, be narcissistic and promote ourselves, we should be portraying a complete, honest sense of destruction of self. And I guess I do that sometimes.
That sounds like bullshit.
No? Yeah.
It does sound like bullshit.
Really?
What's wrong with masturbation?
It's not as interesting.
As destruction?
Yeah. Because people want things that are honest, right? That's what they'd rather see. That's more honest to them.
Masturbation is honest.
Like, if you see how great...
I masturbate. Masturbation is honest. So is the narcissism of your ego.
Okay, it's honest, but it's just not as interesting is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Can we return to this?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So wait, so self-improvement, masturbation, all those good things, trying to make oneself seem greater for posterity, all of those are, valid expressions of self that can be captured as art. But, the more honest side of it, the self-destructive side, the side that, you might not necessarily want to be what's preserved as posterity, that's, a lot more interesting probably, and I think you would see that in the record, because that's what a lot of great artists have done, Kurt Cobain.
Do you think that if you completely,
Kerouac one, certainly.
Agreed.
Those guys, yeah.
So you think if you put your soul completely out there for the world to see...
Well, no, maybe not completely, but...
So what are you holding back in terms of your art then, if that's where we're going with this? What are you holding back?